Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for League of Legends. In this game, I actually had to search high and low to find the replay that I was looking for, and that was to find a video of someone playing one of these unconventional supports. That is, in this video we're going to be watching xSpecial of Team Solo Mid playing as Zilean support. Now you don't really see this that often, but it was played in some of the competitive games recently. And wow, for a wonder, this game is actually starting right around when it should. It only started at the 2-minute mark, not at like the 10-minute mark, as these videos often do. So yes, we're going to be watching some Zilean support in this particular game. And it looks like there was no level 1 action, so we don't have to go back and worry about missing anything. So let me go ahead and set up the lanes. We actually have some unconventional matchups in the other lanes as well. There is actually a Gragas support on the other team here. Yes, this is actually Gragas support in this bottom lane. So we have a Zilean support and a Gragas support. Anyway, so a couple quick words about Zilean as we're sort of getting started here, and xSpecial actually takes all kinds of harass there. That trade did not go very well for them, and they've actually got a big fight going on right now. They actually see the flash coming out, xSpecial's been ignited, and he is actually going to give up first blood. So not an auspicious start here on the Zilean support. xSmithy, we actually have the two players with X in their name here. We have xSpecial of Team Solo Mid and xSmithy, who's the jungler for Team XDGG. Actually, the jungler, not their AD player, who's playing as Jinx in this game. But xSmithy also got quite low, and he has to be quite careful. I don't think that, no, that Gragas barrel would not have killed him, but would have taken Jinx very low. And anyway, there was a lot of early action in this game, so he didn't really have too much of a chance to talk about Zilean per se just yet. And it looks like they're going in for the kill right here. Let's see, is he going to be able to get out of this one? And yeah, Gragas missed his initial barrel. Chunky Lol now desperately trying to get away, and xSmithy's going to flash and pick up that kill. So overall, it's now 1-for-1 in the bottom lane, despite the early first blood that was given up. Alright, so a little bit about Zilean. Zilean, not really a champion that's been seen very much at all, period. Like in the competitive scene or just in solo queue in general, not one of the game's more popular champions. I always have a little bit of a soft spot for Zilean because the first League video that I ever did and put on YouTube was actually featuring Zilean, just kind of randomly. It was a game of me playing Zilean. He's someone who, in the past, did not really make for a very good support because he was one of those champions who kind of needed gold to be effective, and you just didn't get enough gold as a support Zilean in the past. Basically, you would put his main skill, a time bomb, on someone, and it just would deal no damage because you had no AP, so he really did not make for a good support. But here in Season 4, where supports get a lot more gold, he's a lot more viable. I wouldn't say he's a great choice. Zilean support is not top tier or anything, but I would say it's probably playable at this point. If you're like some amazing Zilean pro, there's got to be one or two people out there who played Zilean a lot, then he's probably viable in this role. He's been played more in the past in competitive play as an AP mid laner. We actually see Debox's Veigar picking up a kill right there off of his Ignite in mid lane. So we'll just talk a little bit about Zilean, about what he does in this video here. He's someone who has a lot of utility, brings quite a bit of utility to the team, and brings good damage in the early game. Late game, his damage falls off, but he does bring a lot of utility. I think he's one of the harder supports, not just supports, but I think he's one of the harder champions to play in the game. He has a very weird and kind of unique play style that makes him kind of unorthodox. He doesn't really fit in. He doesn't really play like a lot of other champions. So anyway, enough sort of background here. Let's try to go through what Zilean's skills actually do. So passive, first of all. Zilean passive is bonus experience. Zilean and his allies receive 8% additional experience. Generally not that big a deal, but you do have to be aware of this because you will basically hit levels slightly faster if you have the Zilean passive. So you can often get level 2 or level 3, like one creep faster, one minion faster if Zilean's in the game, and that actually can make a big difference. As we see a trade going in here, xSmithy popping his barrier, X-Ray's Sivir having to flash over the Jinx traps right here, and xSmithy is very low. He is going to be finished off by Gragas. xSpecial trying to dump his time bombs, but I don't think it's going to be enough damage to pick this up. And no, it's not. X-Ray using the barrier to block some of the damage from that initial time bomb. Would have died otherwise. But that's a 2-for-0 win for the bottom lane of this other team for X-Ray and Chunky Lol. So they actually got the better of that one. The one saving grace for Red Team is that Gragas did get both kills. Sivir only got assists out of that, so that does help them. But still, they are now behind in this bottom lane. Sivir also, a really weird build, rushing the Brutalizer as first item. Don't think that was a very good choice, but whatever. Alright, so as I said, Zilean gives everybody on the team bonus experience, and sometimes that means you can get a level up like 1 minion faster, and that can actually be a big deal in some lanes, particularly in a lane like top lane. You'll see people hitting 2 and then immediately forcing an all-in trade before their laning opponent hits level 2. So that actually can make a difference. Anyway, his main skill, his sort of bread and butter skill, is his Q, Time Bomb. Zilean places a time-delayed bomb on a target. After 4 seconds, the bomb detonates, deals magic damage to all surrounding enemies. You can do some interesting things with the Time Bomb. You can bomb, I mean, the typical thing would be you target an enemy, but you don't have to target an enemy. You can target allies with this too. You can stick a bomb on one of your minions' heads and have the minion walk the bomb into the enemy. You can place the bomb on other champions, your allied champions. You can put it on, you know, Xpecial can put a bomb on Xmithie if he wants. So you can basically use the Time Bomb on anything that's a valid target. I don't think you can bomb wards is the one. I don't think you can bomb wards, but pretty much anything else is bombable. Anyway, here we have a Shyvana gank coming in, but it is spotted by the ward that the red team has already put down. So good support play there, having a ward in place to keep an eye out for incoming Shyvana gank. Gonna get out of there. Grog is now going in, lands a barrel, getting some good harass, but notice that the jungle Vi is here, and Vi is level 6. Note that the Time Bomb has gone down on Gragas, and he was slowed as well. Second Time Bomb coming out, but it's not going to be picked up by the Time Bomb. The kill is going to be picked up by Vi right there. And even though this jungle Vi has gotten very low, looks like that's going to be a clean kill and an escape. Meanwhile, in mid lane, a 1-for-1 trade. Shyvana gank, but Kha'Zix in mid, able to pick up a kill on the Veigar player regardless. So 1-for-1 trade. And that ward is doing work because it's spotted Shyvana coming in once again. The speed up coming in. And it looks like Xmithie is just going for this kill on X-Ray. He's going to pick it up with the Jinx rocket, and now turning and running out. Now can he escape? So that's another 1-for-1 trade. Jinx getting a kill, and I think Shyvana getting a kill there on Vi. And it looks like Xmithie's actually going to make it out of this as he rockets out of there with Jinx recall animation. So overall, that was a pretty good sequence for the bottom lane. Jinx got 2 kills, and Xpecial's Zilean here got 2 assists. So overall, that was, like I said, a pretty good trade. Okay, so some of his other skills, we'll go ahead and highlight these other ones. Zilean's W, very strange skill. Not really any other skill in the game that works like this. It's Rewind, 50 mana, 17-second cooldown, reduces all of Zilean's other spell cooldowns by 10 seconds. So it reduces all of his other cooldowns by 10 seconds, and that does include his ult. So keep that in mind. So basically, what Zilean can do is he can drop a Time Bomb, which is on a 10-second cooldown, use Rewind, and then drop another Time Bomb, generally referred to as a double bomb. And note that Xpecial used his Rewind while he was in base because he could basically use it for free. Little tip that Zilean play: if you're gonna play Zilean, you should always use your always use your Rewind when you're in base, because you'll get the mana back for free, and it'll drop all your other cooldowns. So yeah, unusual spell. It opens up some interesting combinations. Like I said, you can double Time Bomb someone. You can also double Time Warp someone. We actually see a Gragas ultimate just whiffing there, not hitting anything. Time Warp, Zilean increases allies' movement speed or slows an enemy champion's movement speed by the same amount. 55% for 2.5 seconds. This is actually a pretty significant slow and speed up. So this has a lot of utility as well. You can speed up an ally, or you can slow down an enemy. It's actually better used normally to slow down an enemy, but is useful for chasing as well. Synergizes pretty well with the Jinx passive, actually, with Jinx's Get Excited passive, where she gets movement speed. Can get even more movement speed for chasing with the Zilean, Time Warp. And this is also, of course, on a long cooldown, but you can use it much faster if you use Rewind. All of Zilean's skills are on pretty high cooldowns because they're set up that way with Rewind as well. So he's got damage on his Q, his W reduces his cooldowns, and then his E speeds up or slows down, and that's where the utility kind of comes in from Zilean. Then finally, his ultimate, Chrono Shift. Zilean marks himself or an allied champion with protective time rune for 7 seconds. If the target would take lethal damage, that is, if they die, they're instead transported back in time and regain a large amount of health, 600 plus 63. Don't know what that AP ratio looks like. It's at a 0.5 ratio, something right around there. So this is his other skill that he's known for, is if you think somebody in your team's about to die, you put Chrono Shift on them. It's basically a mark, or what is it, rune or mark. And then if they die, they come back to life, and they actually get a lot of health back because, well, the amount of health you get on this. So it's basically like a heal, but a heal where you have to die in order to trigger it. Anyway, it's very good against burst champions. So against Veigar, someone who is prone to 100 to zeroing people, it's actually very good against a champion like Veigar, or a champion like LeBlanc, someone who wants to burst you down instantly, because if you can use your ult on them right when they're about to die, then they'll come back to life, the person on the enemy team will have wasted all their cooldowns, and you'll be in good shape. Anyway, we have a fight going on right here. We got the Sivir popping the ult, the Gragas barrel comes out, Xmithie's about to die, but there goes the Chrono Shift, and there you see the skill being used. Xmithie comes back to life, the Time Bomb finishes off the Sivir player X-Ray. Just realized we have 3 people with X's in their name here in this bottom lane. X-Special, Xmithie, and X-Ray. Interesting bottom lane grouping here. But that was pretty much a textbook textbook Zilean fight right there. Used the Time Bomb for harass, used the Chrono Shift right when Xmithie was about to die. He comes back to life with 600 health, and they win the bottom lane fight pretty easily. So that, combined with some play in the other lanes, has largely evened up this game. It's only about a 500 gold difference right now. So blue team's still a little bit ahead, but not that much. Anyway, Chrono Shift is on this really long cooldown. It looks like it takes forever to come back up, but it really doesn't, because every time you used Rewind, it drops the cooldown of Chrono Shift by 10 seconds. So Zilean ult actually can come back up pretty fast, particularly in late game. You can have it up in about 40 or 50 seconds. Anyway, Vital being used on Gragas, but Sirvana is here as well. And with it being a 3-on-3 and actually about to be a 4-on-3 as Veigar's come down from top lane, that's going to be a disengage, and that fight's not going to go on any longer. But needless to say, the bottom lane for X-Special and Xmithie here seems to have come out a little bit ahead. And yeah, they're actually quite a bit ahead now. 1,000 gold ahead in the AD matchup, even if they're behind in the support versus support matchup. It also helps that Sivir, X-Ray playing Sivir, is apparently rushed a Ghost Blade, which, yes, I can see why you do that on Sivir, because it's the movement speed bonus on the active kind of synergizes with her ult. There's some synergy between On the Hunt and Yomumu's Ghost Blade, but really do not recommend this as a first item on a ranged AD. Bloodthirster is usually Sivir's first item for a reason. So X-Ray just doesn't really have that much damage, only has 118, so going to make it hard to win trades against Xmithie, who has significantly more AD. Alright, in top lane, we had a 1v1, and Mundo won the 1v1. Best Riven NA, who's playing Mundo, not Riven in this game, ended up winning in the 1v1 versus Wings, who's playing as Yasuo in this game. So that's a matchup we haven't seen much of. But it looks like Mundo's a little bit ahead, and that's actually a kind of an odd Mundo build, too. Rushing the Haunting guys for more damage. A damage-based Mundo build, not a tanky-based build. In any case, though, blue team is setting up for this dragon. Looks like they want to make a play on this one. In comes X-Special's Zilean support. He's going to drop a ward. Going to come in, maybe trying to steal, but he's going to get stunned out by Veigar there, and he's about to die. Has ulted himself, so there is the Chrono Shift, but had to use that pretty early, probably earlier than he wanted to. Kha'Zix having to jump out over the wall. Meanwhile, back here, Xmithie and X-Special fighting on the other side of this, and the Sivir ult has been popped along with the Ghost Blade, and that is going to be a kill on Xmithie. Meanwhile, over here, Boy Wonder, the Shyvana player, will go down to the Ignite of Kha'Zix, but that is still a 3-for-1, as X-Special Zilean got cleaned up at the tail end of that fight, too. It is a 3-for-1 in the extended fight, plus Dragon for the blue team, so they came out way ahead in that fight. Even though Kha'Zix did get a kill and double buff, that's a trade that I think they'll be willing to take at any point in time. And they've actually extended their gold lead back up to about 1,000 gold lead right now, as we see this fight going on in top lane. Really the contrast of styles between the tanky Mundo and Yasuo, who is much more of a high mobility sort of quasi-assassin champion. Not really a full assassin, but more in that direction. What do we have? Wow, we actually just had a kill in mid. Didn't even see that one. Let's actually kind of curious what happened here. So go back. This is not live, obviously, so we can go back and just check it out. What did Chunky Lull do to get this kill? Must have landed a good Gragas barrel or something. No, actually, looks like Keyzone went in for the kill, and he didn't get it. Went in very aggressively, but didn't pick it up, and so that's a buff transfer complete right there. Another kill for the support Gragas, who's 4-2-1 on the game. Support Gragas, yeah, apparently a thing now in Season 3. And that tower is going to go down in bottom lane. Saw the Ghost Blade being popped right there. The ult is also available. X-Special going to use the speed up on Xmithie against X-Ray, and the bomb on Xmithie's head. Is the time I'm going to pick this up? Yes, it is, actually. The Sivir Spell Shield timed out, so X-Special picks up the kill. A little surprised Xmithie didn't take that one. Probably would rather have it on Jinx than on Zilean, but yeah, that's another kill picked up, and maybe Sivir could have just used her ult and ran out of there, but did not choose to use On the Hunt, and ultimately was not able to escape. Maybe just Reason would not be able to get out of that one, but there's a kill picked up. Still, blue team is ahead by about 2,000, almost 2,500 gold, and in pretty good shape here. Right now, The red team is leaning on Jinx and on Kha'Zix to get really, really strong. That's another thing that the Zilean ult can do. And yeah, actually all three outer, or no, not all three outers, the two outer towers down now for the blue team. They haven't gotten the mid tower yet. One other thing that Zilean does well for this particular team comp is the Chrono Shift is very valuable if you put it on Kha'Zix. Like Kha'Zix will go diving into the middle of the enemy team, and then if they focus him and try to kill him, then you can use the ultimate to keep him alive. Anyway, right here, it's a good use of the Gragas ult right there to force this initiation. Xpecial going to use the Chrono Shift to keep himself alive, but no such help for Xmithy. Even though Shyvana's ult hits nothing, it's still going to be a kill picked up right there. An easy 1-for-0 kill as Shyvana comes down to close off the avenue of escape. Xpecial's going to use his, his time warp to try and run out of there. But the damage has been done. Meanwhile, over here, Keyzone looks like he wants to go in, but Shyvana is quite tanky. He's going to have to jump out of there. So Kha'Zix running away. And now Gragas coming into the fight. He is flanked around from the side on Kha'Zix right here. Kha'Zix is going to get stunned out by Veigar. That's going to be another kill. The kill going over to Gragas again. The 5-kill support Gragas right here. And this game kind of snowballing a little bit out of control right now. Blue team up 4,000 gold, a little bit higher than that. And now they're looking to push on mid and get some damage on this tower as well. So they're in a very comfortable position right now. And it's going to be up to red team to try and turn this out. Veigar stun coming out as well. Gragas going to flash over the wall. Riven going in. Chunky Lal desperately trying to make it out, but he's not going to. Now the Vi comes onto Veigar right there. He's going to fall as well. And Best Driven NA playing some fine Mundo here. 4-2-0. A lot more damage than Mundo is typically billed because he's got that hunting guys. Now looking to get more tanky. Looks like he's going for Warmogs based on the items that he's got right there. Something like that. Out comes the Ghost Blade again being used by Sivir. Don't say that very often. Sivir rushing that Ghost Blade there. But it does look like red team's going to be able to escape, and that was a nice sequence of plays for them. Plus they were buying time for Xmithy to farm down here in bottom lane. So many people with X in their names in this game. Very, very weird bottom lane setup. But in any case, take another quick look at Xpecial, the support Zilean here. You noticed he maxed his Q first to get damage, and Time Bomb actually does deal a lot of damage. The base damage on this is quite high, 320. So early in the game, this actually does deal a lot of damage. A double Time Bomb, 320 plus 320, will deal quite a bit of damage against someone who doesn't have magic resist. So yeah, the early game harass potential of Time Bomb is quite good. Late game, not as strong. One of the weaknesses of Zilean is he only has one skill that deals damage. Yeah, this is the only skill that deals damage. His W, his E, his R, none of them deal damage. So a lot of utility, but very low damage outside of his Q. Anyway, he's then maxing Rewind Second. Why do you max Rewind Second? Because it drops the cooldown by a vast amount. Starts at like 18 seconds, and it goes down very quickly with more points. I believe it goes down to like 5 or 6 seconds when the skill is maxed out. But it has been a while since I've looked at Zilean skills. And then generally, 1 point in Time Warp is enough. More points will, I think more points in the skill lower the cooldown as well, but generally 1 point in the skill is all you really need. It's more important to drop the cooldown of Rewind. And of course, Chrono Shift, obviously the ultimate, anytime it's available. You want this because it will lower the cooldown. And it also increases the amount of health someone gets back when they're revived, when you put more points in this skill. So yes, of course, always skill your ult when it's available. Now in this game, in terms of items, Xpecial's choosing to go for the AP item route. He went for the Spell Thief's Edge into a Frost Queen's Claim. The AP, the mono regen, the passive gold generation. Typically don't see people build this item a whole lot, so it's kind of unusual. I'm not even sure if this is the best item to go necessarily, but has chosen to go for this in this game to get more ability power and to also get that passive gold generation. Then has gone for a Sight Stone and has picked up the Greater Lens, the one that sweeps out Vision Trinket. So we'll have to see where this proceeds from there. We actually do have Dragon respawning right now, so we might have another Dragon fight here. It looks like blue team is motioning over to Dragon. Note that the Jungle Vi, being played by Doctor, was up in top lane. It looks like red team was not on top of the timer for this. Blue team in much, much better shape to claim this, but we will see if there's a big team fight here. Blue team's obviously going to get the Dragon. The question is, can red team now force a fight after that? Chunky Lal's actually in good shape, and he is not spotted by the red team. So this could be a really nice Gragas ult if he gets one, but no, not going to happen. Mundo popping the ult, trying to run in, but oh, blocked by the wind wall. Yasuo actually blocking the cleaver with the wind wall. And red team actually now motioning over towards this mid tower, the inner tower in mid lane. motioning as though they just want to rotate over there, and that's not a bad call. They weren't able to get that dragon, but they might have a chance. Blue team's racing over to try and defend this tower. Let's see if they can manage to get over here in time. Looks like they will manage to get over here. Actually, the Veigar stun coming out onto Doctor. He's going to flash away, so flash burn just for the cost of the Veigar Event Horizon. That's a nice trade for the blue team right there. And Xmithie got knocked up in the air, but Yasuo not wanting to follow that up. Poke just being traded by either team over here. And actually, Keyzone getting jumped on. He's going to get chrono shifted by Xpecial Zilean, but he's actually not going to die. And blue team's actually managed to bait out the Zilean ult right there. So more fighting going on in the back here. Xmithie and Doctor coming in. They're actually going to get the kill on Veigar. Now can they get out, though? This is when they'd like the Zilean chrono shift ultimate. Meanwhile, over here, Keyzone, the Kha'Zix player, picks up a kill on Gragas on the right side. Now Xmithie trying desperately to get out of here, but he's not going to make it, so he gets chased down. That's a 2-for-1 so far. And now Xpecial walks right into a Sivir Boomerang Blade, or a Boomerang Snowflake here, I suppose you'd say. So that fight that started out pretty good for the blue team ended up not going so well at the end. And the Yasuo, the tornado into the Yasuo ult, and kill gonna be picked up by Shyvana right there. So that's another kill. And this fight really has not turned out well for red team at all. Again, they got a good start to that fight. They got the first 2 kills, but then they gave away 3 more kills, and they lost their mid tower. Now they're taking damage on their inner tower in mid. So a sequence that just did not work out. And really one of the keys to that fight was they baited out the Zilean ult. Xpecial saw that the Kha'Zix player, Keyzone, got very low, dropped his ult on him, but they never actually killed Kha'Zix. And that's actually something that, when Zilean was used more back in competitive play, the teams got very good at doing that. That is just not killing whoever had the Zilean ult on them. Teams got very good at doing this when you used to see Zilean mid in competitive play. A team would drop that Zilean ultimate on someone, and everyone on the other team would just stop hitting him, just stop DPSing whoever had the Zilean mark. They just waited out, and then they'd turn and kill that person. But anyway, in these team fights, who Zilean ends up ulting is actually a really big deal. A good Zilean ult can absolutely swing a team fight. You know, if a good Zilean ult on Jinx, when Jinx gets focused and she's about to die, a good Zilean ult that brings Jinx back to life, you know, is really a game-changing move right there. So if you're going to play Zilean, you have to be really spot on in terms of where and how you use your ults, because a good ult can win a team fight, but a bad ult most definitely can lose a team fight. And in that last fight, misusing the Zilean ult, I mean, it wasn't really a misuse, but it ended up not really helping the team because the chrono shift mark was never triggered. So certainly was a contributing factor in that fight. Anyway, blue team's ahead by about 4,000 gold right now, so they're again in a pretty comfortable position. And Sivir now has actually finished a Bloodthirster, so that's a big help there. Let's see what other people are building. Veigar's got his Deathfire Grasp. Looks like he's building for a Death Cap. That's a pretty standard Veigar build. Shyvana, what is Shyvana building? Shyvana, yeah, got the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, Sunfire Cape. Now apparently building either a Frozen Mallet or a Trinity there. Actually, no, it must be a Trinity because Phage doesn't build into Frozen Mallet anymore. Everybody always gets confused by that. So yeah, different stuff right there. Right now, red team's looking to push this top lane turret. Jinx has got her Bloodthirster and has gone for the Static Shiv. A little bit more pushing power, a little bit less team fighting capability than a a Phantom Dancer. Anyway, over here, Shyvana in a little bit of trouble, but going to use the ult, going to use Dragon's Descent. So no harm, no foul, just had to use the ult. And right here, Sivir going to pop the ultimate right here and enforce this team fight. X-Ray, though, going to get jumped on, and is he going to die? Oh, he's very, very low. Keyzone going to be able to jump out. Yes, just got that reset and now running out of the fight. The Chrono Shift went on Xmithie, but he did not end up dying. So maybe a little bit of a misuse, but anyway, that fight did work well because they were able to get the Kha'Zix kill onto Sivir in that fight. Anyway, here, Best Riven going to get stunned by Veigar. We see the Gragas ult coming out as well. Doctor going to get sped up by the Xpecial Zilean speed up. So that's another kill. Look at these health bars. Everybody's so low on the team. Oh, and the box going to try to bait that, but who's baiting who right here? Looks like Xmithie picks that up. Yeah, I mean, it looked like the box was trying to bait that with a recall, but he's the one who got baited there. Anyway, another speed up coming out from Xpecial, giving Xmithie more X's here, bonus movement speed, plus he got the Jinx passive, Get Excited, from killing the tower, so able to run out of that. And in the extended fight, red team actually came out smelling like a rose there. I think they went 3 for 1 in the extended fight, and they also picked up 2 towers in top lane. They got the top tower, and they got the inner tower as well. So a really good fight for them, and they've almost managed to even up the game. Very much a solo queue game, a little bit sloppy by different players here in this game. But in the end, a good fight for Red Team, even though the Zilean ult was not used perfectly in that fight. But it's also possible that by ulting Jinx, that may have, well, made the other team not want to kill Jinx. I don't know. Was watching the other part of that fight. Hugely crucial part of that fight was Kha'Zix went in, and he just barely got the kill on Sivir. Just barely got that kill, and then because he got the kill, he was able to get the reset on his E, on his leap, and he was able to jump out on champion kill or assist, leaps, cooldown, resets. So it was very fortunate to get the kill. Had literally just enough damage to get the kill on Sivir. Anyway, Dragon's back up, so we may have another Dragon fight incoming here between the two teams, or a fight of some kind, because obviously they both want this objective. It is warded by both teams, pretty good ward coverage, actually better ward coverage by blue team right here. And they're jumping on Mundo, but this is Mundo. Fortunately, Mundo has flash and not ghost, able to jump over the wall right there. And we are going to see a team fight initiated right here. They're going to look to go in on the box. He is going to have to flash over the wall. And meanwhile, the fight is continuing. Jinx Rocket going in. We are going to continue to see more damage. X-Ray going low. And then right here, watch, I'm going to slow this down. Xmithie gets bursted, but the Zilean ult is going to be enough to save that. He will come back to life. So all of Veigar's damage goes for naught. And now Kha'Zix getting the resets, jumping in, leaping back and forth, doing his best impression. And he's going to go down right there. So that is a 4-for-0 in that fight right there. It was kind of an awkward fight for blue team because they engaged on Mundo, and Mundo was able to pop his ult, flash over the wall, and not really be in bad shape after that. And then the one thing that would have helped them a ton would have been getting that kill with Veigar, but Veigar uses his full burst combo, used his ult, used his Deathfire Grasp, used it all on Jinx, and that's where the Zilean ult came into play. Perfect use of Chrono Shift, bringing Xmithie right back to life again. So it turns into a tower in mid, another tower in mid, an inhibitor, and it looks like it could turn into a Baron as well because blue team just not really in position to contest this. Shyvana's going to run up there, but it doesn't look like it's going to be in time. And there we go, down goes the Baron. And indeed, Shyvana just can't get there in time. Boy wonder, not feeling too good about this one. Gonna kill the pink ward, get a little bit of revenge, take that pink ward. But that doesn't make up for losing Baron. And from a game that blue team was had pretty firmly in hand literally about 4 minutes ago, it's now a 50,000 gold lead. So Xmithie's been part of quite a few throws, but he's on the team that's not throwing this time, the team that's actually coming back from being behind, and a whole bunch of items coming out for the red team right now. So let's look at the gold totals right now. Xmithie is the highest at just, what is it, 11.8k gold here. And then the Vi, the jungle Vi right now, Docta, second most on the team. Then Mundo and Kha'Zix quite close. On the other team, Shyvana actually, well, just slightly less. Sivir does have the most, and then Shyvana a little bit less than that. So the junglers actually having a lot of gold, picking up a lot of gold on the junglers in this particular game. And Xpecial is actually still behind in the support matchup because this Gragas player, Chunky Law, got so many kills. Anyway, Best Riven NA is going in. He's forcing this fight. Going to force out the Gragas, a Gragas barrel. There is the Gragas ultimate right now. And, oh, the long-range snipe coming in from Xmithie, picking it up with the Jinx Rocket. Riven is just tanking so much damage. Well, Best Riven, not actually Riven. Still tanking this kind of damage. Will finally go down, but Kha'Zix comes in. Oh, wants a reset so badly. Not going to get it, though, with his Void Spikes. Dragon's Descent coming out as well. That Veigar stun is going to miss. Right now, Yasuo, Wings' Yasuo is actually up here in top lane. He's still pushing and putting pressure. So Kha'Zix not quite able to get reset, pick up a reset there and jump a second time. But this tower is going to go down. Still, someone will have to go back to base to deal with Wings' split push. It looks like Docta's going back to base. Anyway, this tower going down in bottom lane, and we actually see the top lane tower going to get engaged on as well. Wings is actually quite low, and let's see, who's going to win this duel? Well, I think a Baron up Vi probably is going to take this one, and indeed, down goes the Docta in top lane. Well, no, actually, Docta's the one who picked up the kill. Never mind, Wings is the one who went down. My mistake. Anyway, in jumps Kha'Zix. Keyzone trying to jump in. Veigar Event Horizon stun's going to miss. The slow from Zap will hit, and then the Jinx Rocket, wow, off of cooldown again. Yes, that is a low cooldown skill. X-Ray taking all kinds of damage, but he should be okay. And Sivir should be able to spell shield this now. Yeah, Sivir actually counters, I should have mentioned this before, but Sivir actually counters Zilean pretty well because you can spell shield the harass from Time Bomb. Yeah, it's maybe that might even be why X-Ray picked Sivir in this game, if Zilean was picked sooner. So yeah, right there, blocking the Zap, damage with another spell shield. But really, overall, the damage has been done to blue team's base. They lost a second inhibitor, and that is not good news. So a very good use of the Baron push by the red team here in this game. They actually still have a full minute left on their Baron to get a little bit more out of this, but they were able to get 2 towers in bot, the inner tower, the inhib tower, and the bottom lane inhib, and put themselves in really good position right now. And 3 members of the team still pushing here. A little bit risky to do this because this would be a 5-on-3 if the blue team went in and engaged. Zilean not here, Kha'Zix not here, but they presumably don't know that. Yeah, they don't know that the rest of the team is not there. Still, red team could just go to top lane and shove that in, or ultimately they're sticking around here because they know the mid inhib is going to respawn, and it's going to be really, really tough for blue team to defend this. So even though Kha'Zix is not here, inhib should be up any second now. Waiting for it. There it is. Inhib's back up, and they're ready to take this down. So we should see a team fight right here. Vi actually going to go in. Who is the target going to be? We do see the Zilean, well, not the Zilean, the Veigar's Event Horizon stun coming in. Boy Wonder's going to jump in, but there's just not enough damage, not enough follow-up. The Gragas barrel is going to hit, dealing good damage, but it's just not enough. And over here, Kha'Zix is picking up kills. He will go down, shut down by Veigar right there. But still, it's a 2-for-1 in the fight. The Zilean ult was not used there. I guess could not get the ult onto Kha'Zix in time. And now the Nexus towers are falling on either side. Down goes one of them. Zilean actually getting the kill somehow on that tower. Veigar Event Horizon stun coming out, but there is in fact a Mikhail's Crucible on X Special and a Quicksilver Sash on X Smithy's Jinx. So they have some good defenses in place. Best Driven Nene getting very low. Oh, he's going to get ulted by Zilean. He will go down, but he'll come back to life. And that should just about be it. Yes, there goes the Nexus. Falls in this one, and that's going to be that. So a pretty quick turnaround. Really, in about the last 7 or 8 minutes, the red team went from being 4,000 gold down to just flat out winning the game, and winning the game by 10,000 global gold, just shy of it, 9.5 thousand global gold. So really a quick turnaround in that game. Just some bad mistakes in team fights, giving away too many towers, giving away a Baron, and then that being it. What is that weird hissing sound? That's really weird. Does anyone, you guys hear that? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Any case, though, I wanted to use this game as a chance to show support Zilean because it did get used in competitive play. I can't remember if it was Battle of the Atlantic or the LCS promotion matches, but there was a team that did use support Zilean and actually did use it to pretty good effect in the game. I can't remember exactly which game it was, but in any case, a chance to show off another little bit of an unconventional champion here and see some different gameplay. Boy, that noise is really weird. Anyway, so once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks to everybody who turned out and watched the Civ 4 stream over the last 2 weeks. Hope you guys who watched it enjoyed it, and that is saved under my live stream if you want to go back and watch it if you missed it in real time. Until next time, have a great week. See you guys again soon.